Hello, my dear. I'm 82 years old and looking back, ah, I took my partner for granted for over 50 years of our marriage, assuming they'd always be there, until one day they weren't. I wake up now in this quiet house, the kind of silence that echoes with what ifs, staring at an empty chair where laughter used to sit. Decades of unspoken love, missed hugs, and forgotten moments. They've left me with this irreversible loneliness that claws at my heart every morning. As we step into 2026, with folks everywhere scribbling resolutions for fresh starts and second chances, don't let this become your story. Resolve right now to cherish your relationships before it's too late. I've seen too many friends in their final days whisper the same regrets, their eyes filled with tears they couldn't shed sooner. Don't wait like I did. Sit with me for a spell, child, as I share my story, so you can avoid the heartache that's haunted my golden years. Let me take you back. I was born in the 1940s, right in the heart of a bustling black community where folks leaned on each other through hard times. I met my spouse in the 1960s during those post-war days of hope and change, Martin Luther King marching, music filling the air, and young love feeling eternal. We married young, built a family with kids who brought joy and chaos, and navigated the ups and downs of careers through the economic booms of the 70s and the busts of the 80s. Life got so busy, with raising children, paying bills, and chasing that American dream we were told was ours if we worked hard enough. I assumed our bond was unbreakable, like the vows we spoke under that old oak tree. So I stopped nurturing it, day by day. It echoes what Bronnie Ware wrote in her book about the regrets of the dying, working too hard and neglecting the relationships that truly matter. I let the routine swallow us whole. But here's what changed everything. In 2015, after I'd finally retired, thinking we'd have all the time in the world, well, my partner's sudden heart issue hit like a thunderbolt. I remember rushing to the hospital, the sterile smell of antiseptic burning my nose, the beeps of machines mocking my complacency. It shattered the illusion I'd built. That was the wake-up call that exposed years of emotional distance, much like the family conflicts in those studies on older adults' regrets from Taylor and Francis. In that dim hospital room holding their hand, I realized the unspoken resentments had piled up like unpaid debts. I had a near breakdown right there, confronting my role in how we'd grown apart. Tears streamed down my face as memories flooded in, the arguments brushed aside, the needs ignored. This trigger revealed how I'd assumed our relationship's permanence, leading straight to complacency. It set the stage for the deeper regrets that still weigh on me today. First, let me tell you about assuming the relationship would always be there. That led to such complacency and a total lack of appreciation. Back in the 1980s, during my demanding job at the factory, where shifts stretched long into the night, I skipped our anniversaries time and again. I'd think, we'll celebrate next year when things settle. But one year turned into 10, leaving my partner feeling invisible, like a shadow in our own home. It's much like those folks on Quora who regret marrying just because society expected it, without putting in the ongoing effort to keep the flame alive. As Carl Pillemer notes in his book, 30 Lessons for Living, elders regret not mastering communication, and in my case, that meant assuming stability without showing active appreciation. This built quiet resentment, you see. I'd come home exhausted, barely acknowledging their day, maybe grunting a hello before collapsing into bed. Our home felt more like a routine stop than a haven of warmth. It led to loneliness, even when we were together. A common thread in BuzzFeed's survey of older couples' regrets. Is that the kind of quiet despair you want creeping into your life? Then there's not expressing gratitude or affection daily. That resulted in emotional drift and this deep loneliness in my later years. During the 1990s tech boom, when stress from work had me wired tight, I stopped saying, "I love you," or thanking them for small things, like the warm dinner waiting after a long day. "I love you, honey," I'd think, but the words stayed locked inside. Flash forward to our empty nest years, and that silence echoed through the house, amplifying the isolation like a hollow drum. Bronnie Ware's words capture this perfectly. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Suppressed emotions eroded our connection over time, bit by bit. Holidays became obligatory chores, not joyful gatherings. I'd see their sad eyes across the table but brush it off, thinking time would fix it. Now, in my 80s, that drift feels like a chasm I can't bridge. Surveys on elderly regrets, like those on MSN, highlight this as a top issue, leading to quiet, heartbreaking solitude. Nobody tells you how those unsaid words pile up until they're a mountain of regret. And ignoring my partner's needs during life stresses that fostered unspoken hurts that built over time, like weeds choking a garden. In the 2000s, amid the financial strains of the recession, when bills loomed and jobs felt shaky, I dismissed their worries about our future. "I'm providing, aren't I?" I'd snap, focusing on work instead of listening. Unspoken hurts piled up like forgotten arguments that scarred our trust, harsh words in the kitchen, tears wiped away in secret. Carl Pillimer's advice rings true. Have discussions instead of staying silent. I regret the yelling or avoidance that let those stresses fester. This created a wall between us. One night, they confided feeling unheard, their voice trembling, but I changed the subject, too scared to face it. Years later, those hurts surfaced in therapy we never sought, echoing chorus stories about realizing mistakes post-divorce. This built irreversible damage. It haunts me to this day, those moments I let slip away. Another regret that stings deep is failing to invest in quality time, like vacations or hobbies together, missing those bonding opportunities that could have woven us tighter. We planned a dream trip to Europe in the 1970s, suitcases half packed with excitement, but I postponed it for better times at work. Decades passed without those shared adventures, leaving our photo albums full of solo memories and a bond weakened by endless routine. According to what I've read from CNBC about advice from 90-year-olds, the secret to a happy, regret-free life is to savor every second with the people you love. But I ignored that, prioritizing deadlines over hobbies like gardening side by side in our backyard. The emotional impact, retirement hit, and we were like strangers in our own familiarity. Those missed vacations became symbols of lost joy, amplifying the loneliness that settled in. New Year resolutions from sites like The Knot urge tech-free nights and fun planning to avoid such regrets. Wish I'd heeded that sooner. Finally, learning forgiveness and reconciliation too late. That's a hard one, but I advise proactive efforts now to mend and cherish what you have. After a 2010 argument over family decisions, where voices rose and doors slammed, I held grudges for months instead of forgiving. Only in the crisis did I apologize, but some wounds had scarred deeply, like old cuts that never fully heal. Psychology Today's tips on New Year resolutions for relationships, like having honest talks without interrupting, highlight how to prevent these regrets through timely reconciliation. The emotional impact was profound. In quiet evenings now, I replay those moments, wishing I'd mended sooner for fuller, warmer years together. Facebook insights talk about adding the right things to life, like forgiveness, to build better memories and fewer regrets. If only I'd known. But here's the turning point that brought some light into the darkness. Post-crisis in 2015, those therapy sessions we finally attended revealed the patterns I'd ignored for so long, inspired by Pilamer's emphasis on communication. We started weekly check-ins, sitting at the kitchen table with cups of tea, really talking, rebuilding trust one honest word at a time. Positive shifts came slowly. I began expressing daily gratitude, leaving little notes on the mirror or giving unexpected hugs that said what words couldn't. We invested in late life trips, even just short drives to the countryside, windows down, laughing like we did in the 60s, to reclaim that quality time we'd let slip. Emotional growth bloomed as we forgave past hurts through those open talks, reducing the resentment that had weighed us down. Though it was late, it brought peace, aligning with Ware's lessons on expressing feelings courageously. In the spirit of this new year, 2026, I resolved to cherish our remaining time, turning regret into action for a deeper connection. Our bond strengthened in those final years, proving change is possible. But starting earlier would have spared so much pain. If I could tell my 30-year-old self one thing, well, don't assume forever. Express love daily, as Ware urges us to have the courage in our feelings. Here's what nobody tells you. The biggest lie you're probably telling yourself is that you have all the time in the world. You don't. So let me save you decades of regret with some actionable steps. Schedule weekly quality time, like date nights, where you put away the phones and really connect. Make it sacred. Practice active listening during stresses, echoing Pilamer's mastery of communication. When your partner shares a worry, stop everything and hear them out, no interruptions. And forgive quickly to prevent buildup. Don't let grudges simmer like I did. Start 2026 with a resolution list. Keep a daily gratitude journal, noting one thing you appreciate about your partner. Commit to tech-free evenings, as suggested by the Knot, to reignite that spark, and have those honest conversations to reset your relationship fresh. Urge immediacy, child. Check in with your partner today. Ask about their needs. Plan a shared hobby, whether it's cooking together or walking in the park. Avoid the loneliness those surveys warn about in old age. It's a thief that steals quietly. You're not too late if you act now. Build a marriage of appreciation, not regret. What are you waiting for? That day never comes on its own. At 82, the empty chair beside me reminds me of all those wasted moments. Tears come unbidden when I think of the unspoken I love yous and the sunsets we never watched hand in hand. Life's clock ticks faster than you think. I've buried friends who've whispered similar regrets on their deathbeds, their hands clutching mine as if to pass on the warning. Don't let complacency steal your joy like it did mine. Though this pain runs deep, sharing it brings a sliver of hope. You can rewrite your story for fulfillment, not this aching loneliness. Urgent plea. Before it's too late, hug your partner tight. Say the words that matter. Make the time you think you don't have. The new year is your fresh start, a second chance to build something lasting. I wish I'd known sooner, but now you do. Act on it, my dear. If this resonates with you, subscribe for more elder wisdom to minimize the regrets in your life. I have more truths to share and not much time left. Comment below. What's one thing you'll change in your relationship this year? Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe that friend who's drifting apart from their loved one. Together, let's make 2026 a year of no regrets. Hit that like button if you're committing to cherishing your loved ones. Next week, more on avoiding those work-life pitfalls in marriage. Take care, and remember, don't wait.